If you've decided all you want to make in crypto is a 5x, then stick to your portfolio of Bitcoin and Ethereum. If you decided you want to make 100x in crypto, well, I'm going to be honest with you, you cannot make 100x with the top 10 crypto. You will have to branch out.
If you're looking for the next 100x altcoin, you might be looking in the wrong places. While everyone hears in the news about Bitcoin and Ethereum and Cardano in the top 20 or maybe the top 200, the reality is that more than likely none of these coins are going to do anything more than possibly a 50x, which is amazing returns. But in this video, we sit down with a good friend of the channel, Crypto Seth, to talk about altcoins that actually have 100x potential that could turn your pennies into thousands, if not millions of dollars, depending on how much you invest. Go ahead and listen in, and if you enjoy the video, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel for more interviews and content just like this. You know, everyone right now, Seth, is really talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum and Cardano and XRP and Link. You know, a lot of these large cap coins that are going to have, you know, I think a lot of these coins could be anywhere between a 10 to 20x. Maybe some of them push 30 or 40. But the real, you know, when we talk about the everyday person becoming a millionaire overnight in crypto, we're really talking more about small caps. And I know this is one of your specialties. You study this all the time. Seth, what is like the small cap right now? What is a coin that you are just in love with that you do believe every single person should be heavily researching for themselves to look to invest in?
Great question there. Now, one thing we need to understand is a lot of the time in crypto, the projects that do well are projects that fill a need. There's a gap in the market and a project comes about and fills the gap. For example, with Ethereum, we needed a project that solved the trilemma because there's many issues with Ethereum. You have to compromise on security for scalability or speed. So a project at the moment that I believe is one that everyone must be researching is called Tectum. Now, what need does Tectum have? Now, at the moment, people need to realize that Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, despite these not being that flashy, they're going to be around for a very long time. Ethereum is deemed a commodity. Bitcoin is deemed a commodity. So at the end of the day, the ones that's going to be utilized by institutions, financial institutions, technological institutions, and even the everyday person is going to be those top cryptos. It's not going to be the new, smaller, up-and-coming cryptos. At the end of the day, most of those are scams. But Tectum is a project I want to talk about because Tectum is a scaling solution for any blockchain. And at the moment, Tectum scales Bitcoin, Litecoin, USDT, and Ethereum. But what is the purpose of Tectum scaling these blockchains? As a payment solution. We have so many layer ones in crypto. And when we do use the term layer one, a lot of people use it wrong. All layer one means is you're built on your own blockchain. You're not built on the Binance Smart Chain. You're not built on Ethereum. You're not built on Solana or Cardano. That's all that layer one means. Tectum is a layer one that scales these blockchains that I mentioned as a payment solution to scale Bitcoin, Litecoin, USDT, and Ethereum. But the best part about Tectum is the innovative payment solution that they do offer. Now, this isn't just a regular scaling solution. Number one, it's scaled on the Tectum blockchain, which currently offers 1.2 million transactions per second, and they deem themselves as the fastest blockchain. To help you conceptualize that number, I think a few examples would be good. For example, Avalanche has around 4.5 thousand TPS, and Phantom has around 300,000 TPS. And on the lower end, around 7 TPS of Bitcoin and 25 TPS for Ethereum. So it's a very fast blockchain. But the innovative payment solution is through something called a soft note. And a soft note is basically this NFT that you can mint, fill it with liquidity, send it to someone else, and then they can pull out that liquidity. So the soft note is a bill, a digital bill. You can have a Bitcoin bill, a Ethereum bill, a USDT bill, a Litecoin bill. Now, the great thing about Tectum is the features that it does have. Number one, anonymous. Now, what does that mean? You can transact Bitcoin, Litecoin, USDT, and Ethereum anonymously. Now, I don't think people really understand how innovative and how amazing this is. One of the main reasons Monero did so well was due to the fact that we had a digital asset that we could transact anonymously. Now, imagine if you can transact Bitcoin, Litecoin, USDT, and Ethereum anonymously. This is something in my eyes that's going to draw a lot of attention from retail and institutions to adopt. But that's not the only feature of Tectum. There's other features as well. For example, the soft note the NFT that you mint, the bill that you use to transact, can actually be printed off, meaning you can hold it physically, and I can hand you, Tim or T-Shroom, one of these soft note bills in person, and you can go away and take out the liquidity out of that bill. Meaning,
Mm.
the soft note that Tectum offer is internet independent. If you don't have internet at the moment, that's okay. You can take one of these soft notes out of your pocket, hand it to you, and then you can go and take the money out of that soft note later. Now, there's many, many other features of Tectum. I don't want to be here all day and talk about them, but here's a
Yeah.
few other features that they do have. For example, there are zero fees. The person who has the fees is the person who received the soft note. For example, if I send you the soft note, Tim, I don't pay any fees. You pay the fees because you receive the soft note. Also, one thing you need to understand is it's technically not transactions. And I think this plays into why the soft note is very, very fast on the Tectum blockchain and also anonymous, because it's not transactions, it's actually the transferring of wallet ownership. There's many of the features of Tectum that I do like as well. I'll talk about one more before I wrap up the general overview of what Tectum is. And the last one
Yeah.
is the person who mints the soft note earns the transaction fees from that soft note indefinitely. Meaning, if I mint a Bitcoin soft note today of 0.01 Bitcoin, after I send it to Tim, well, Tim can send it to Seashroom, and I'll still be earning the transaction fees from that soft note that I minted. Now, the reason Tectum is great, and I'm going to oversimplify this, but the reason it's great is because of one thing. It has the perfect balance of hype and utility. The utility is there because it caters towards those who want to transact all the major cryptos very fast, anonymously, but also physically if you want. And you can also earn the transaction fees from doing so. On the hype side, I can imagine people printing off all these soft notes in the bull market. Look, I can transact crypto physically. They'll be going around.
Mhm.
It kind of reminds me of crypto.com when they created the card that everyone went crazy because you could have a crypto debit card. It kind of reminds me of that. And I can imagine people printing off these soft notes and everyone's getting very excited about this. But the great thing about Tectum is even though it's very, very low in market cap at the moment, it's actually being utilized by institutions. Tectum recently talked about how they're having partnerships with AT&T, Starbucks, and most recently, I think this was a couple of days ago, Ferrari said they're going to be using the Tectum soft note for only close parties, not publicly available, but the Ferrari core founding members will be utilizing the soft note for transactions. So, in my opinion, this is one you need to have on your watch list and you
Mm.
need to do some research into.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. And Tisha, I want to hear your thoughts. I mean, your questions too. But my first question I have, uh, there's a part of what you said that was very attractive, and I think a lot of people are going to like, but it also makes me a little weary of it. And that was the anonymous transactions
Mhm.
detail side of this, right? So a hot topic recently in the crypto world is a person that shares my last name. I don't think we're blood related. I'm going to start by saying that. I don't think that I'm actually related to her, but I joke that she's my aunt, and that's Elizabeth Warren. She's recently made claims that crypto is being used for terrorist organizations. It's criminal activity. You know, this isn't a new accusation in the crypto world. It's kind of ridiculous because on the blockchain, a lot of things are traceable. A lot of times when you crime or terrorist activities in crypto, it's traceable, right? But when you say anonymous, it can move the money without any tracking whatsoever. While there's a lot of people that would fall in love with that and want to utilize that, there's a concern that kind of went off in my head of like, hey, if there's too much knowledge about this, could this coin be shut down in the future due to maybe potentially being a place that criminals use it more frequently to get away with? Again, is it as bad as terror or is it just simple crime? What are your concerns or thoughts there? Is this something that could come down the road that we don't have to worry about that for a long time? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Now, I think the first thing we need to understand is regulation comes from the top down. For example, the regulators aren't coming for random small microcap gems that no one has heard of. The
Mhm.
regulators will come for the top cryptocurrencies Bitcoin, Ethereum, Matic. We even saw Algorand get attacked by the SEC. But the SEC aren't attacking cryptocurrencies that haven't been through a cycle, that are under $100 million of market cap. So it depends
True.
the concern that you want to arise, a concern for investors or the concern for the ones who are adopting the platform. So for investors, I believe there isn't really any concerns. Tectum will go through one full bull market before it's well known, before the
Yeah.
regulators will try and come for Tectum. From the adoption standpoint, to be honest, it's very hard to see Tectum having regulation issues because it also depends what you mean by regulation issues. Regulation where? Tectum aimed to comply with regulation in several different jurisdictions. So maybe when we say regulation, we're more referring to the SEC. Maybe in America, there may potentially be some regulation issues. But
Mhm.
at the end of the day, the fact that we are still seeing Tectum reach out to these institutions that are based in America and they are deciding to adopt the Tectum soft note fills me with confidence that, you know what,
Yeah.
maybe there won't be a regulation issue with it, despite the anonymity aspect to it. And one more thing I do want to say is, in regards to anonymity, we really have to understand specifically what we mean because, yes, anything on the blockchain is traceable, but the main part that's traceable is how you acquired the crypto in the first place. That's what makes it traceable. Because if I
Mhm.
buy it through an exchange of KYC, then they can see that me, Seth, I've bought this crypto on this exchange and then I've sent it here, sent it here, sent it here. That is the part that's trackable. When you don't buy it on a centralized exchange, technically it's an anonymous transaction and no one can really bring it back to you unless you do feel in any details on the place that you bought it at.
Makes sense. Yeah, and I think ultimately, what your first part of the answer is really what I was looking for is this is an investment we're talking about potentially just for this bull market. We got to kind of re-examine maybe in the year 2025 or after that. But you're right. I think this is not a coin that should be on anyone's hot list. I looked at that, when we went full screen, it's right now sitting at, is that right, 18 billion? Was that 18 billion or 18 million market
Million,
cap? Million, yeah,
million
even
market
more so.
cap.
So $18 million of market cap. This is a very small coin now, but again, this is something that Seth and Archie and others I've heard talk about this. When you're looking for an 100x, 500x, maybe even 1,000x coin, you really should not be looking at anything over $1 billion and even $100 million. When you see things below $100 million, that's really where you start to see the potential for those 100x, 200x, and so on. So very, very interesting stuff. Tisham, I don't know if you have any questions, but I would love to change topics unless you have something you wanted to add.
No, I mean, I just had the question of like, just kind of clarifying. So, is it a QR code that's on this actual physical paper? Is that kind of the technology that we're working with here? Or is it the actual paper itself that somehow is now this valuable? Kind of like how $100 bill is valuable. Like,
Yeah, so it's the QR code and there's
gotcha.
also password protection as well. So for example, if someone stole my soft note from me, they can't just get into the bill and take the liquidity out of it. There is
Mhm.
security and protection mechanisms in place.
Gotcha. Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
Very cool.
Well, Seth, do you think it's on your
Yeah.
schedule in the next, before the new year to actually go ahead and print one of these, Tectum soft notes out and diversify into soft notes? Is that
You
something
know
you're?
what? Absolutely. I'm looking to print off a few of them just to test them out and try and
Yeah.
use
Yeah.
them because at the end of the day, I do live in Dubai. And Dubai is a crypto central world. Everyone knows crypto in Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
And you know
Yeah.
what? I'm looking to print one off. Maybe somewhere I go to quite often. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm friends with a couple of people, for example, in a cafe. I'm friends with the owner. Maybe I'll go to the owner and tell him, look, this is a soft note. This is crypto. Why don't we try use the transaction thing to actually use crypto? Because at the end of the day, most people don't really use crypto. And crypto, yes, it's mostly a scam. There's a few exceptions, obviously, but it's mostly a scam. Let's be honest there. But a payment solution at the end of the day isn't really a scam. It's a decentralized payment mechanism. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on that.
Okay, it's a
Yeah.
little hyperbolic to say crypto is a scam. Let's be, with some exceptions. I think Gary Gensler might agree with you, but no.
That's true.
Well, look, what I'll say is, T-Shroom, when you're in the degen world like me,
Mm-hmm.
it's 99.9% a scam.
True.
When we are dealing with
Yeah.
blue chips, the top 100
Yeah.
cryptos, we can start talking about adoption by institutions. But when you're on my level, most of the cryptos you see are scams. They have smart contract issues. For example, they can disable selling and buying. The liquidity is unlocked, therefore they can pull the liquidity whenever they wish. We're
Mhm.
dealing with a very degen world, which don't
Mm-hmm.
plan to stay in crypto for a very long time. There's very high allocation to the team. They will sell in the next bull market and cash out.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah, I think
Awesome.
I think another video, a different topic, we definitely can get deeper down that route of most cryptos are scams, especially at the smaller cap level. Because I think you're right, but T-Shum and I don't deal with those as much. We're usually hovering around, the top 20 to 50 coins where there's
Yeah.
less scams. I'm not going to say none,
Yeah.
but there's less. But I did want to, kind of a segue, not necessarily scam world, but I know that you're big on some gaming tokens, and I want to,
Mhm.
if you have some tokens specifically that you want to address, that'd be awesome. But I wanted to ask you even maybe a bigger question. So when I was in my first bull market back in 2021, gaming tokens were hotly talked about. Everyone loved them, but there was a concern, there was a problem that the technology just wasn't quite there in crypto and the blockchain technology to really make gaming attractive. And so until the technology advanced, there was a little bit of a concern that maybe gaming tokens weren't ready to go big. First of all, how would you respond to people with that kind of an opinion? Do you think that we are at a place where in this next bull cycle, gaming tokens can and will be another big facet of the crypto bull market? Yeah, so what are some coins you think are attractive, or do you agree that gaming tokens aren't really ready yet for their full bullish narrative?
Yeah, so great questions there. I'll try my best to answer all of them. Now, I think the first thing we need to understand is what a gaming crypto actually is. That concern, in my opinion, is mostly arise due to a misunderstanding. So when we talk about what is a gaming crypto, well, what aspect of a game is actually crypto? For example, let's say I want to turn a game into a crypto game. Well, what aspects of that game am I going to turn crypto? For example, I can simply create NFTs for all the assets of the game. And then if you want, you can go to a marketplace and buy those NFTs. Now, you can't really argue that that game is not ready because I can simply do that with Fortnite. I could do that with Call of Duty, CSGO. We can just take all the assets and make them Web3. That is more sustainable in my eyes. And that is where we're going to see the real adoption of crypto. Now, other aspects of making something a crypto game is adding a token element into the game. Now, this is where the scams or the unsustainable or the too early aspects really come into play. Because at the end of the day, you can't create money from nowhere. These tokens that most of these crypto games are distributing is not sustainable. For example, Call of Duty's existed for how long? Tens of years? That can't be the same for a project that gives out tokens over time because eventually those tokens, one, will be worthless and you won't have tokens to continually give out unless you're going to add an inflationary aspect to it. And then the value of those tokens are going to come down. So it really just depends on how a specific game decides to be Web3. Now, what I will say is it too early for Web3 games? Absolutely. Of course. It's definitely too early. Most of the games that we see in crypto that are trying to be the next big game to compete with the Web2 space are going to fail because at the end of the day, those Web2 institutions have billions upon billions of dollars to throw into making games, whereas the Web3 equivalents don't have that income. And also, you need to address the people who are playing these Web3 games. Who are they? They're investors. They're not gamers. You're not seeing gamers starting to adopt these Web3 games. So the question is why? Why are they not adopting these games? And it comes down to the fact that the people creating these games know what they're doing. These aren't games that people want to play. These are just money grabs, essentially. Now, there is a few exceptions to the rule, but even those exceptions, the quality of the games aren't that high. And that is the issue. The issue is they can't create a game that captivates people. Now, I'm not going to blame the crypto space. Why? The reason I'm not blaming them is because how many games do we have in the Web2 space? Millions of games. And how many of those games are played? A small, minute number. And it's obviously the same in the crypto space. We don't have that many games in the crypto space. So we can't really expect them to be adopted because if we actually compared it to the Web3, Web2 space and the number of gamers that play the number of games we have, you'll probably find that the proportions are probably better in the crypto space. People are playing more games in the crypto space compared to the Web2 space, the number of games that are being played. So that's kind of my take in regards to crypto gaming. Is it too early? What crypto gaming is? Now, in regards to the best gaming cryptos, before we go there, do you guys have any questions about what I said or disagreements or agreements?
Yeah, well, I see the most potential in gaming with, like what you said, Web 2 games starting to adopt crypto or Web 3 aspects into their game.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We saw some fake news recently that a really popular game, Roblox, had adopted XRP. Right? That was kind of the headline that I've been waiting for. Something like that, like an extremely popular game starts to integrate a major cryptocurrency. Right? Because Fortnite has their V-Bucks, right? But that's not on a blockchain as far as I know, right? So it can't actually leave the ecosystem of Fortnite. So that's where it will start to explode, and we'll see. We'll see when you see that headline, and we'll be the ones that bring it to you live on weekdays. 3 p.m. is when we go live Eastern Standard Time. We'll be sure to bring you that headline when it hits. But until then,
Yeah.
you got to tune into Crypto Seth, and I've actually got his Twitter pulled up right here. This is where you can find him at Crypto Seth YT. You can find him there, and he tweets all the time, and I have gained quite a bit of value from being a follower of CryptoSeth there on X.com. So that's my take on kind of gaming and where it might go. We got to see Web 2 merge with Web 3 in the gaming space in order for there to be explosive movement to the upside. But Seth, what are the horses that you're picking to be successful in the short term?
Yeah, so before going to those horses, I kind of want to comment upon what you said because I think it's very important. Now, like you said, we are seeing people adopt crypto. That's good. But XRP and Roblox will most likely be with the revenue that Roblox generate with cross-border payments. So the gaming side of crypto probably won't see that. And even if we talk about Fortnite integrating Web3 again, bringing on the V-Bucks on chain would not really make any sense, to be honest. And I think what we will see Fortnite do is just integrate NFTs. But what people need to realize is you don't need a whole crypto to do this. You don't need a crypto at all. You don't need to build it on chain. You can simply use other applications and mechanisms in the Web3 space to simply turn aspects of your game into Web3. For example, having a marketplace. You don't need to build a full crypto, have nodes to validate the transactions, have a token to do any of this. And this is what people need to realize. This is what I said to people not long ago. If you want crypto to be less of a scam, then let's choose a couple of chains and start building everything as Web3 applications. You don't need full token systems. You don't need full infrastructures. Most of the things in crypto could simply be Web3 applications on Solana, Cardano, even Ethereum and Matic and Arbitrum. That's what people need to realize. People need to understand that when we talk about bringing things into the Web3 space, it's not everything. It's elements that's going to be Web3. So to answer the question that Tim initially answered, what I think is going to happen is Web 2 gaming institutions will simply start adopting some Web 3 mechanisms. And it's probably just going to be an NFT marketplace at the end of the day because that's all that really makes sense.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
So why do we talk about those crypto coins that I do want to talk about? So how I operate is I look for the most fundamentally strong coins in general. There are certain elements that makes gaming coins bullish and bearish. For example, when you're looking at a layer one, there are certain elements that make a layer one bullish and bearish. And those elements are going to be different across several different categories in crypto. We don't look for the same things that are bullish in a layer one that we will look for in a gaming project. For example, I don't say that, oh, look at this gaming project. It doesn't have a high TVL, therefore it's not good. We can kind of do the same thing for a layer one. So the aspects that I look for that make a high quality gaming project is as follows. Number one, a to-earn system. Retail want to be able to earn rewards from adopting a platform. This is the main reason that Axie Infinity did so well. Some people say the first mover advantage. That is one of the reasons, but the main reason was because people were actually making money from Axie Infinity. People had the NFTs and they were making a ton of money. So if your project has a earning mechanism that can generate you money and the money that you can generate is lucrative, people will adopt your platform. In Southeast Asia and Asia in general, they will adopt the platform if they can make money from it. And during the bull market, those returns will be exponential, especially if they're lucrative during a bull market. Now, what we also need to understand is the earning mechanisms are different. For example, play to earn is different to skill to earn. Play to earn generally means you just play the game and you get tokens. You can level up your character, you get tokens. Skill to earn tends to mean that you have to win the game to earn tokens, and you tend to have to give your tokens, and then the winner of the pool gets the rest of the tokens. Now, the reason I'm differentiating this is because people are less likely to want to risk their tokens to make more money. But people are likely to just play a game that gives them tokens to earn tokens. So looking for a to-earn mechanism in your game is very, very important. And that brings me on to the first cryptocurrency, which is called Nakamoto games. Nakamoto Games is a gaming platform with 200 plus free to play and play to earn games. But it doesn't just stop there. They have many other earning mechanisms behind Nakamoto Games. You can just play the generic games they have available. And the great thing about Nakamoto, and it kind of ties into what we were talking about before in regards to gaming, is they're not trying to create the next best game, because at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to. But what they're doing is just taking games that we already like to play in the Web 2 space, 8-Ball Pool, Candy Crush, Tetris, and adding in earning mechanisms towards it. Now, the reason this is great is because if I like to play 8-Ball Pool, well, guess what? I can go play 8-Ball Pool, but also earn money from doing so. So one of the main things I like about Nakamoto Games is they have very simple games, but they also have other elements behind it. For example, a metaverse. Now, the great thing about this metaverse is you can earn money from this metaverse. What we see a lot in crypto is metaverses that you can simply just play and buy land in. You can buy land in the Nakaverse, but there's also other earning elements towards it. So imagine you are a retail investor and you're looking for a metaverse crypto you want to buy. Well, guess what? You can use this metaverse and you can also earn money from this metaverse, meaning people are more likely to adopt it. Now, there's several other mechanisms behind Nakamoto Games. I'm not going to talk about them all, but they have an arcade. They have a mobile application, which is going to be released soon on the App Store and on the Play Store. They have a watch to earn mechanism as well. They also have a layer one infrastructure to help onboard Web3 games onto the App Store and Play Store. They have a Telegram bot as well, and many, many, many other features. But the main element of Nakamoto Games that I'm very bullish on is this earning mechanism, because that is what retail investors look towards. But the great thing about Nakamoto is, yes, it's a platform to earn money, but they also have an infrastructure for developers. You can come over to Nakamoto Games, use the Naka SDK, and the SDK is essentially a toolkit, and turn your Web3 game or Web2 game, into Web3 and slap it on their platform. So that's the first one, Nakamoto Games.
Any questions on that, Tim? Oh, you're muted, Tim. Oh, amateur hour.
Amateur hour. Just I didn't want to interrupt. Such a good take. I was going to say, Seth. It looks like they might have modeled you for Naka Runner. I don't know if you can go back to that screen. I was watching and I was like, oh my goodness, it looks like that might be Seth running down the.
I like that.
That's
a little
great.
bit.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm an advocate.
There we go. Well, yeah. What's the second one? Because I'm really interested in this. I told people here a couple weeks ago I'm going to have a whole portfolio of really small cap. It's not going to be a large percentage of my portfolio, but I really want to get involved here. And so I think the recommendations you're making here are really good. I think it's also worth noting, anyone who's listening to this, Seth, are you sponsored by these projects that you're recommending? Like, do you get $1 for coming onto any channel or your own channel and talking about them?
Great question. So I've never accepted a single paid promotion in my life. It's actually the main reason why I started my channel, because in the crypto space, especially in this DGen world, paid promotions in abundance. It's all just paid shilling. I've never accepted a single payment. I've been talking about them for 9 months. I have made money off Nakamoto, but that's because it did a 15x for me. So that's the only earning I've ever made from Nakamoto. I've never accepted a single dime from them. In fact, they haven't even contacted me. You know how they replied to my messages about doing an interview. So yeah, I haven't earned a single thing from Nakamoto, nor have I from any other project in the crypto space.
Now is Naka, because it's on Polygon, but is Naka, are they on their own blockchain as well, or are they multi-chained, or is everything on Polygon?
Nakamoto Games, the token, is built on Polygon. The layer one infrastructure I'm referring to is for onboarding games into the App Store and Play Store. So it's not an infrastructure for investing into the token or the blockchain. Because again, it's like when we say things are on chain, what do we actually mean? It's a lot of terms that get thrown around a lot. We say, oh, this is a blockchain project. Well, what's on the blockchain? Is a website on the blockchain? Is the data on the blockchain? What is actually on the blockchain? The main thing is simply just the token.
Gotcha. Cool. So this is in line with kind of the criticisms that you had about crypto gaming in general, because it's hard because some of these things the lines are very very close. So, but everything that you were saying is in keeping with kind of what your principles and what your beliefs are on the future of crypto gaming. Nakamoto is hitting that dead on, is kind of what you're saying.
Absolutely, because Nakamoto, remember when I was talking about the different earning mechanisms? Nakamoto do have play to earn, but they also have skill to earn. Skill to earn is more sustainable than play to earn. Because with skill
Mhm.
to earn, I take some Naka tokens, you take some Naka tokens, we play the game, and the winner gets the Naka tokens. That's more sustainable than me simply just playing the game and them giving me tokens.
Hmm.
So Nakamoto Games has the play to earn that caters towards retail because retail will FOMO in to make tokens, but it also has the sustainability with the skill to earn.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Well, yeah. What's the other game that you're really interested in right now? The gaming token,
Yeah.
excuse me.
Yeah, the next gaming token I'm very interested in is called Games for a Living. Now, Games for a Living is a newer crypto. It's a more recent gaming crypto that has come about, but it's taken the DGN world by storm due to one main aspect. And the main reason this gaming crypto is taking everyone by storm is simply because of the people behind the token. As I discussed before, one of the main elements to look for in crypto gaming is, does it have an earning mechanism? People aren't going to play a game if it doesn't earn them money. It's as simple as that. Unless it's the best game in the world and it can take on the Web 2 world because it's so good and everyone wants to play because it's so fun, without an earning mechanism, I simply don't see it doing well. But another aspect that I look for in regards to gaming project is a strong team. I want to see a team of individuals who have been working at the Web 2 gaming institutions, Activision, EA Sports, all these top institutions. Now, guess what of Nakamoto? Not Nakamoto, sorry, of Games for a Living. It's not that they just have the employees that work to these institutions. It's that the CEO of those institutions are the ones behind GFAL. So the EA CEO and founder, or former CEO and founder of EA Sports, is the person behind Games for a Living.
Oh, wow.
Oh
So when
wow.
we talk about people and we talk about games that could really take on the Web 2 space,
Hmm.
imagine if Elon Musk came into the Web 3 space to build his own Twitter. Everyone would back it. If the Google CEO came into the crypto space and built a search engine, everyone would back it. So imagine a top gaming institution CEO and co-founder is coming into the Web 2 space, Web 3 space. You're going to want to back it. And that is the main reason that GFAL is being talked about a lot. But don't get fooled. This is not the only aspect that makes this project great. Another aspect of GFAL that I'm very fond of, again, ties into what I was saying before. Is there a play to earn aspect of GFAL? Yes. The games are free to play and also play to earn through the NFTs. They currently have 2 games available at the moment that you can play. But it also ties into one other aspect of a gaming project that I look for, which Nakamoto Games also has, and that's an infrastructure for developers. We want to see a platform in which a developer can come over to build their own Web3 space. And GFAL are a games development studio as well. You can come over as a third party to build your own Web3 games on GFAL. They have web development tools that you can utilize to turn your game Web3, and also elements that help make your game cross platform. The main unique selling point from a gaming standpoint for Games for a Living is the fact that they want to make your game cross chain. Most of the crypto games are just either on mobile or on a computer. Games for a Living want to make it cross platform: PlayStation, Xbox, PC, mobile, everywhere. That's one of the main selling points of Games for a Living. So that is the incentive for developers to adopt the platform. So again, to simplify everything I said, Games for a Living is a gaming platform that you can play different play to earn games on. It's also a platform for developers to build their own Web3 games. Games for a Living is a studio. They do develop their own games. They have 2 available at the moment. But the main reason people are bullish on Games for a Living is the team, with the EA founder and former CEO being the
Hmm.
person behind the project. And in fact, there's many other big names. For example, people on the board for Activision, Chocolate, and many other huge gaming institutions as well. So that's Games for a Living.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're not a gamer at all, EA Sports has produced FIFA, Madden,
Yeah.
the NHL game, the hockey game,
Only
the
game I've
UFC,
ever played is
yeah,
really what they're
PGA Tour, and also F1. So if you've ever played a sports game, chances are it was made by EA Sports. Well,
It's in the game.
well, Seth, I want to ask you, kind of as we wrap up, I want to ask you kind of a zooming out question here because you've given us some picks here. These are like these are what you consider still degen picks, right? They're sub 100 million. Most of those were any of
Yeah,
those
this
yours?
last one was like what, 34 million?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, so again, it's all about perspective. So if you ask me, give me some DGen gaming coins, I won't tell you games for living, nor will I tell you Nakamoto,
okay,
because these are considered very fundamentally strong low caps. As you can
okay,
see, EA Sports, former founder
Hmm.
behind the
yeah,
project, and Nakamoto Games, it's up 15x. It has so many different earning elements behind it. The largest social engagement of all the gaming cryptos. These would be considered fundamentally strong gaming cryptos in the DGen world.
right,
If you want degen ones, I can give you degen ones. For example, one called Myria. And if you guys believe in this Gala killing narrative, Myria is one that is considered degen in my eyes. So for me, they're not degen, but for you guys, all of this is degen.
Yeah.
yeah. It is a matter of perspective. So let's take for example somebody whose crypto portfolio is maybe it's like $30,000, but let's say it's like 90% Bitcoin, 10% Ethereum, right? And so they're really, when they hear these type of names like Nakamoto or whatever, they're gonna fumble around on coin market cap, try to find the address, have to figure out how to even do that and get it into MetaMask, and then maybe they buy a little bit of it successfully, right? But this is not something they're doing often. Would you even recommend that people who are literally only in Bitcoin and Ethereum even get into these type of more degen plays from where I stand? Call them degen, or would you say just stick to what you know with Ethereum and Bitcoin, or have you found a lot of fulfillment and a lot of extra added benefit by kind of exploring these more degen plays?
Yeah, great question. So the first thing I will say is
Thank you.
I'm not a financial advisor, so I do not aim to provide any form of financial advice. But what I will say is understand why you're in crypto,
Hmm.
understand your goals to crypto, and stick to them. For example, if you've decided all you want to make in crypto is a 5x, then stick to your portfolio of Bitcoin and Ethereum. If you decided you want to make 100x in crypto, well, I'm going to be honest with you. You cannot make 100x with the top 10 crypto. You will have to branch out. Now, of
Hmm.
course, there's exceptions to the rule. We did see Cardano do around a 90x last cycle. However, these are exceptions, they're not guaranteed to happen, and anything can
165
happen.
actually. We actually have articles written about us where we talked about that. But yeah, not to digress from your point.
No worries, no worries. The point is, it's exceptions to the rule. These aren't generally what
Yeah.
happens. So when I
Yeah.
say 90x, I'm referring to market cap because there was token dilution, meaning what people would have actually have gotten in returns wouldn't have been 165x, unless you're one
Mm.
of the people that got in early. Now, what I will say is, in regards to what you should have in your portfolio, is understanding what you can make. You can't make 100x with those top coins, so you'll have to go degen. But the number one rule I say to people is do not market cap hunt. The lower the market cap does not mean the higher the returns. People think it does, but it's
Mm.
not. You can have a $1 million coin that only goes to 3 million, a $1 million coin that goes to 2 million. You can have a $5 billion coin that only goes to 20 million, and that's a 4x. You would have made bigger gains of Cardano or Solana. So keep this in mind. Do not market cap hunt. And what I say to people is anything under 100 million can still 100x. It just has to be the best project in that narrative that could go to $10 billion in market cap or above. 10 billion is kind of that benchmark that I use because if you do look across different categories in cryptos, you'll start to see a trend. For example, Axie Infinity went to 12 billion. We saw DeFi protocols and DEXs go to 20 billion, 10 billion. I don't like to use layer ones as an example, but if you do look at layer ones, apart from Avalanche, Polkadot, Solana, Cardano, Ethereum, of course, the Binance Smart Chain, all the other ones went around 5 to 10 billion. Algorand, Hedera, Chainlink, around that area, Atom as well. So that's kind of the benchmark that I utilize. So do not market cap hunt, number one. Understand your goals in crypto. Are you looking to make a 10x? Well, if you're looking to make a 10x, you don't need a single low cap gem. Are you looking to make a 100x? Well, you need to have low cap gems. It doesn't matter what your opinion is. You have to. Are you looking to make a 1000x? Well, you have to go lower in market cap. You have to go, under $20 million in market cap. So just understand what you want and then understand the reality of the situation and what you have to do in order to get to that point and get those returns.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you not only smash the like button and subscribe to this channel, but go check out the other pages for Crypto Seth. We're going to be attaching his Twitter and YouTube channels in the description down below. Make sure to go leave him a follow on Twitter and look out for more great calls that he makes over on his channel. With that said, that's all we have for you in this video. We'll see you in the next one.